Hi ladies, welcome to day 7, your final day of your fat burning challenge. Today I want to talk to you about your hormone melatonin and how it relates to your ability to burn fat. So you probably know the link with melatonin and your ability to sleep well. That is often quite common knowledge. What I want to talk to you today about is how it affects your ability to metabolize fat. So melatonin kicks in the evening, so you have your daytime hormones that drop off, and then melatonin kicks in and peaks and allows you to drift off into a nice peaceful and restorative sleep, a healing sleep that repairs the body, and actually it allows you to be your optimal fat, or gives you your optimal fat burning ability. Now what can happen is when melatonin is out of balance, then quite often it's quite difficult to fall asleep at night, or you wake up during the night, and if you're not getting this restorative sleep, there's a few things that happen. So one, your leptin ends up being lower, and so you've learnt a lot about leptin. It's linked to your metabolism, your ability to burn fat, and also how satisfied you feel. So when your leptin goes down, you feel more hungry, but also when you haven't had quality sleep, your ghrelin goes up, which is another hormone which is linked to your hunger, and that's in the stomach, and I'll talk about that another day. But essentially what happens is you end up being more hungry. So when you're not sleeping well, you're feeling more hungry. Now if you can remember back to the start, we talked about the fire, burning paper and burning logs, so burning glucose and burning fat, and just thinking about how easy it is to burn paper. So putting paper on the fire, it ignites very quickly. There's not little effort required, where to get a log burning, you kind of have to sit there, you have to kind of get a little bit of fire started, you might have to move them around a little bit, add more flame, like it's a little bit more effort. And that's kind of what fat's like, fat burning, as opposed to glucose burning. So if you're tired, the body's just going to go for the easy option. So it's just going to go for the paper on the fire. It's just going to go for burning the glucose as opposed to the fat. So when you're not sleeping well, your body's going to burn glucose, not fat. Plus we know that those two hormones, ghrelin and leptin, are out of balance, so you end up being more hungry. So when you're tired, you're more hungry, and you're going to crave foods like sugars and carbohydrates, because that's what's going to replenish that fuel source that the body's needing, the sugar burning, the glucose burning. So look, there's lots of things that interfere with melatonin. One thing is blue light, like blue light's like the daytime light that kills melatonin, but then you'll sit there on like your phone or your computer or the TV, which has got blue light in it as well, so it can kill the melatonin and stop it from kicking in. There's lots of things like cortisol, so stress, if you've got dominant cortisol in the body, and melatonin is not going to kick in properly as well. So I would love to hear what your action's going to be this week, so that you can start balancing your melatonin and improving your quality of sleep, so you can burn fat better. If you'd like to share below. Also, being that it's the end of the challenge, I want to thank you guys so much for being so engaged and interactive. That's absolutely what makes you get the best results. I would love you to share what results that you've got, how you're feeling, what you've learnt, and I'll put a link up as well if you wanted to share that on our Facebook page. The reason that I ask you to be able to do that is so that if you think of what you've learnt during this time, and how with there's so many things out there, and people hesitate to try new things because they don't really know. It's the uncertainty of not knowing what's on the other side, but it could be the very difference, that one thing that people need to know that will absolutely change their life. So by putting your feedback on our Facebook page in the review section, then people can kind of have that confidence and that courage to take a leap of faith, and from that they learn so much, and can absolutely, it gives them hope again, it gives them, they can change their life, and then you're responsible for that because you've shared just your experience, and it can be that simple. So I do encourage you to do that. Also, if you haven't seen the webinar on how to lose 10 kilos and keep it off, I talk about ways to do that naturally, sustainably and easily. I do touch on hormones, but I also go into things like emotional eating, self-sabotage. It's awesome. We had really good feedback from the other night, and I'm going to run that again tonight for you at 7:15 Queensland time. That's 8:15 daylight savings time, and I hope to see you there. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak with you shortly. Bye for now.